our first ever in-studio guest for the Pot Rapport. It's Mary White. Mary spent many years in Seattle radio. And if you're a fan of country music, you no doubt heard her on KMPS with Ichabod Kane for years.
Fitz.
Yeah.
And The Wolf with Fitz
Yeah.
for also years.
Years.
And now Mary has ditched radio for an actual growing business.
Who writes this stuff, Bob?
That's
Joe does.
awesome.
Yeah.
He's improvising a little.
I'm improvising a little, but it is Joe's wisdom that starts it all.
Nice.
Mary is in the kitchen giving cooking classes, preparing tasty treats, and yes, that involves the newly legalized recreational use of marijuana. To find out how you can take a cooking class from Mary, either the green variety, or do you do more conventional cooking
Oh,
classes?
yeah. That's how it all started.
You were just doing cooking classes.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
And then I
Link
realized
to her website. Oh, I like your website. It's called thepantryraid.com.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Do you get a lot of accidental clicks? People going, I was
Well,
expecting something much
There
ruder.
have been some mistakes.
website stinks.
Yeah.
And if by accident somebody wants to pay you $20 for 2 minutes
Okay.
of
Yeah.
Not a problem.
saying,
Girls got to eat.
That's right.
Former radio people will do just about anything.
right.
On the
That's
web.
why I got bubviewer.com too. Yeah, show my bub collections, which is the rocks. Yeah.
So, Mary, how are you?
You know, I am great.
You seem so happy.
I'm very happy, Bob.
Wow. Are you happy mostly to be out of radio? What is the most happiness in your life? Yeah.
Well, no, that's not true. because
you miss getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning?
I do not miss getting up at 3, and I don't miss a lot of things, but what I do miss is the audience, and I do miss a show.
Yeah.
You know, I love a good show.
Yeah, you got great intensity too. You always have. You have this hair thing. What happened? Did you fall into?
It's blood, Bob.
It's
It's
some
very
blood.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got that streak of purple hair.
Show them the
That's
cut.
right.
Show them the cut. It's
Who
brilliant.
has
Yeah.
purple blood, by the way?
Well, you know, Huskies and whoever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. So now what happened? I have to ask a little radio question.
Sure,
first.
sure.
Ichabod Kane probably didn't know that you'd have end up making tasty treats of cannabis.
No.
It wouldn't have gone along with his
Probably
motif.
not.
Yeah. On the other hand, Fitz.
No,
No,
he wouldn't have
him
gone.
neither.
No,
So, and country is so conservative.
right. But you know, that was sort of my. You know, I started out here at Cube, and
You
12
were at Cube
years.
first, okay.
12 years with
Did
Charlie
you work
and
with the
Ty.
T-Man?
No, Charlie and Ty.
Charlie and Ty.
And
okay.
then T-Man was down the hall.
Yeah.
So then when he came on, we
They
sort
did
of
a switcheroo.
Yeah.
How about Charlie? How's he doing? Charlie Brown, is he still?
No, I do. I think he's still on Brain Damage Island, hanging out.
Which is that? Is that where all of the Vashinistas are?
The
No.
Vashonese.
The
The
Vashonese are on Vashon.
Yeah.
What's Brain Damage Island?
Bainbridge.
Oh.
Yeah.
We were talking
Yeah.
about ferries before and how you can't have this job and live somewhere, but Charlie was the one guy who could, because he would tape, and maybe you can confirm this, he would tape like the first hour or something so he could get the
So you
ferry.
could take the
Yep.
ferry.
so he could get in to do
Yeah.
his show.
Yeah, we
which
would. I'm
be
sorry.
terrible if there was breaking news.
Well, that was sometimes an issue because
Or
we
breaking ferries.
Or
You got
breaking
nothing for
ferries.
hour two.
were also a ferry.
Got
a
it.
problem. Yeah.
All right. So Mary, and then you were on with Ichabod Kane, and then on with the Fitz and the Wolf, and doing the news, and what happened to the did you say I'm done with radio or did
No, actually, they decided to go in a different direction.
Oh, I love the
Hey,
different
I've
direction.
heard that
Yeah.
before.
I had never heard that before, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, apparently that direction does not include me. But that was okay.
So that's like Paul McCartney decided to go in a different direction from Heather Mills.
Exactly.
Yeah, a different direction.
It was a lot like
All right.
that.
The good part is they escort you out with all your stuff and take all your. Oh wait, that's not the good part.
No, that's the embarrassing
That's the
part.
embarrassing part.
Have
right.
you always been a cook?
Yes.
You've always loved cooking.
always.
Tell me
always.
why, because cooking these days, it's a lost art. People used to cook.
is.
Every family used to cook.
Yeah.
Mom would, buy ingredients fresh at the grocery store and cook a dinner. And now we live in, and I'm not going to take sides on this. We live in a different society now.
Yeah.
Where in order to have all of the cool things we need to have, most of us work, and the art of cooking is, it seems to me, it's lost. It's being forgotten.
Exactly.
Why do you love to cook?
I think for that very reason, Bob, I think to me, besides, air and water, you got to eat. And humans who can't take care of themselves, who don't know how to, do that most basic, essential human thing, feed your body, that's scary and sad. And also, it's not good for you.
But there's an art to cooking, too. I mean, I can eat. I can go buy fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
And I can put heat on something and eat it.
Right.
But that's not cooking.
Right. But, it's not that far from cooking. What I've found with these classes that I'm doing is that people really just need to know some basic methods.
Okay. So let's start with general cooking, then we'll introduce the special oregano that you provide.
Yeah.
So in general cooking, what are the rules to learn to get from just heating stuff up and microwaving stuff, which is what I'm good at, to cooking?
That's why I call the business the Pantry Raid. Because my goal is to teach you how to cook without a recipe. It's about freestyling. It's about Bob goes into the kitchen at 5:30 on Wednesday, and he's got some chicken and he's got some pasta and maybe he's got this or that. I'm going to show you without a recipe how to make yourself dinner.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's usually within 20 to 30 minutes you can have a really good meal. You can.
Without a recipe, though, how will I know what things not to put together?
Well,
I know
that's
people
why-
like this, by the way. I had dinner with Mark Nafisi last night. He's you know him? He's a sound guy, really great cook. And he will make a dish, and he will invent it on the spot.
I exclusively freestyle.
It's called freestyle cooking.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay, scary because if you put the wrong things together, it's terrible, right?
You just don't eat it. You eat something else. I mean, food, it isn't really magic. It's the most basic,
so it's
wonderful.
okay to experiment?
It's absolutely paramount to experiment.
So
Best not to invite 20 people over first.
right.
I mean, he made a thing last night where he was rice with cherries and nuts. And I would never
Yum.
think of sautéing cherries, so they create this little sauce,
Yeah.
and boiling them down to almost like a, what do you call it when you boil something down?
Delicious.
And, right.
It's like
I see where you're
a
going.
reduction, like
You
a.
also do sex chat online, too,
Well,
don't
I
you?
could, Bob.
You have the voice for it. Anyway, you boil it down, and then you drape it over this rice, and then he's putting like little crushed nuts and various things on it. And I thought I would
Hazelnuts,
never...
pistachios.
I think, or maybe some almonds or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I'm dishing it out. And I'm going like, I've never had anything like this. So that's what you talk about.
Exactly.
So give me one of your favorite freestyles, because do you have to do it a different way every time? Because it seems to me if you do it 3 times, it becomes a recipe.
Well, I think you're probably right. But what I've found with food is that it's infinite. That I can make a frittata for you today and a frittata for you tomorrow, and they'll be different.
They will be different.
They'll be different.
And I have another gal, my hairdresser, who does this too. And she says, I never believe people when they say this. Oh, I just threw it together.
You do.
Oh, everyone is different. Oh, could you make that exact same thing again? No, probably not.
But close. It's just, it doesn't have to be a scary thing.
Okay, so are there some basic rules? Don't put marshmallows
In anything, ever.
Ever, okay.
Ever.
Marshmallows are bad.
Let those go.
All right.
And yet you
Give
sell
me-
pot. How's that work?
Well, she probably has...
Marshmallow isn't pot, and I don't
No,
sell
but
it.
Marshmallow's great.
She doesn't sell pot. She just
cook
helps
with
you
pot.
cook it.
You cook
All right,
with
so
pot.
so what's... but there must be some basic rules. Give me some basic.
Well, if you came to a class, I could show you my basic method, which is aromatics sautéed with a protein over a starch.
Aromatic. Describe aromatic.
Diced onion, a mirepoix, carrot, onion, celery. The Trinity in Louisiana, which would be green pepper, onion, and garlic. I mean, there's all
So you've
different.
got some education here. It's not totally
Yeah.
random.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
I've
Okay.
done a lot of
All right.
work.
And so you have an aromatic. You put
Yeah.
it with a...
Make a base, and then a starch, and then a protein, and you've got dinner.
That's dinner.
It's dinner. So there's infinite ways to do it. And
What do you
again,
think of Paula Dean?
well, bless her heart.
Bless her heart. I know what that... that's a Southern insult. Joe already taught me that.
No, that's I'm about to say something that I probably shouldn't, but
Bless her heart.
Yeah.
You know.
Bless her heart and her enlarged heart, too. Yes.
Yeah. I think what she does is fun. I don't think it's a kind of food you could eat very often or often at all.
Got it. You go for healthy.
I go for simple and smart.
Simple and smart. Okay.
You know?
So, all right, let's get to the real reason Joe invited you, because he wants to bake goods and keep them in a special section of his freezer. You're going to have to get, you know what they need? Freezers with locking compartments to go along with this new medical marijuana and recreational law. Don't you
No
think so?
question about
No,
it.
because
You-
this stuff is dangerous if you don't know
you
it's
need
coming,
to
right?
clearly label this
You
stuff.
brought some brownies. Now, are these...
I did not bring brownies.
What did you bring?
I brought cumin-scented cheese crackers
Yum.
and some delightful fresh lemon bars.
Did she say human-scented?
Cumin.
That's
Cumin.
cumin, you
I knew
pervert.
that. That's for her video channel. All right. So, all right. first off, medibles, they used to be called.
They are called.
Well, they are, but now they will be legal for recreation, so we need another name as well, right?
Well, except I use them medically. I mean, this is how I got started with all this. Is about 3 years ago I started with the medical marijuana for, some chronic issues that I have. And I found that I am way healthier, like markedly healthier
Than smoking.
than
Eating rather than smoking.
Than I was. Wasn't smoking or eating. And I was taking all these pills and trying to get better. I have a failed hip replacement.
Okay.
And nothing was working. So I finally tried the medical pot. Now, I used to smoke it. And then I quit years ago because it was too strong.
Right. You could go back to country radio. You don't need to be hip to work.